Hello everyone, welcome back. And yes, we're back at my compact desk setup, which must mean one thing. You can see right in front of me here, we have that MacBook Pro from 2011. And yes, it means we're doing more tinkering with it. And today, you've probably seen from the title, we're going to be putting Linux on this machine, and more specifically, Ubuntu. Now, I'm going to do a step-by-step guide of how we're going to do this. So we're going to look at where to download Linux from, and we're going to look at the setup, and then we're going to have a general play with it and see if it does improve the performance. We have Sakura on this at this moment in time, and as you probably know, I've been experiencing some issues. So this is one way to see if we can save this machine in 2025 with Linux, with a modern operating system that hopefully will make this laptop faster. So without further ado, let's jump in. Okay, so the first thing we want to do is download Ubuntu. Now, this is fairly straightforward to do. I'm doing this actually on my PC rather than the MacBook itself, just because this is quicker. So we just want to search Ubuntu in Google, and we'll see it's the first one here. And first things first, we can just download Ubuntu desktop, which we're on here. So this is the most recent desktop version, 24.04.1. So we can just download that image, and it will ask you to sign up and bits and pieces and subscribe if you would like to. However, you can see it's still doing it in the corner anyway. While that is downloading, we also want to then download a software to flash it onto the drive, so flash the image onto our USB drive. I have already favorited it, and I'm going to be using Balena Etcher. There are other softwares that you can use as well, for example, like Rufus, that also will work and help flash it onto the drive. And you also want to download Etcher. So I'm obviously on a Windows device, so I will download it for Windows at this moment in time. So we'll just wait for those two to download. Might take you quite a few minutes to download both of them. You'll probably find that Balena Etcher will actually download first. Okay, so both are now downloaded. Once it's downloaded, open up the Balena Etcher. And then from this point, we are going to need some form of USB device, which I've got multiple here. I'm going to pick this one because I like it, because it slides up and up. But it doesn't matter. So at this point, you can then insert your USB stick into your computer. And you'll hear the noise. It's there. So for the time being, we don't actually need this open. We're going to go flash from file, and we are then going to go into our downloads, and Ubuntu is there. So we're going to click to open that. We're going to then select our target. There's the Kingston Data Traveler, which I've just put in, and we are going to go and put select one, and we're going to get flash. Yes, and we're going to want it obviously to allow that there. And this could take quite a few minutes. So I'll report back once this has done flashing. Okay, once that is all complete, you can then safely eject your USB stick. And then we move over to the MacBook. Okay, so for this next start of the process, we're going to make sure that the MacBook is been shut down completely. We're going to insert our USB stick just into the side. We're going to turn it on, and we are going to hold down the Option key. And it should take you into the boot menu. There you go. You can see I have my Open Core Legacy Patcher 1 there. We're going to go into this EFI boot. And then try and install Ubuntu. which is, so it's all here, it's gone into arrow keys, etc. So it says try or install Ubuntu because they do like a trial service first, I guess. So just go through the process and let it install. Because see, it will take you firstly, I believe it will take you into the try first, and then you have to go through the installation pack, but I'll report back when it's finished doing its loading. Okay, so it's going into Ubuntu now. I just wanted to say, actually, because I forgot to say at the start, that I've chosen this Ubuntu here, but you can choose all different types of Linux. There is loads out on the market, so just make sure you do your research first. However, all of the installation period and process is exactly the same. It's just, but also as well with Ubuntu, there's all different what they call flavors. So I know one called Gnome is quite a favorite out there as well. They just basically change how the desktop layout is more than anything. Oh, look at that nice little chime. So yeah, we're going to get into setting this up. Obviously, English for me. We're just going to go through and work through all of this. So let me go through all of this process. They do say, for the time being, just set it up in the minimal way possible for you to try it. So I'm going to get through this and then we'll report back in. Okay, so in Ubuntu, there is drivers that you need for your internet connection, and this is something that came up beforehand. So for the setup, ideally, if you can plug it directly into a router with an Ethernet cable just for the setup, you can also do this by connecting it to your phone via Bluetooth, or you can even get it connected via a USB cable to your phone as well to tether it on, because it won't come pre-installed with the drivers for your wireless connection on here. So that's something that we will have to get set up, and I'll show you how to do that in a bit. But for the setup process, it needs to be connected to an internet to be able to download those drivers. Ideally, you can do it on other computers. It's a lot longer walk around, but I will show you in terms of how to do it once you've got an internet connection. So you can see how this has changed now. I've just plugged my Ethernet cable in. I'm lucky enough that on this MacBook, I don't need a dongle or anything along those lines. So I can use the wired connection for now, and we can download the drivers here. So from here, an update is available for the installer. So I can then update it immediately, and it should drag in some of, not all of the drivers, but some of the drivers. And I will, please close the installer and relaunch to continue. So it might do this now. It's always good to keep it updated. So I'll install this now and we'll continue on. So you'll see in the top corner here, it tells me to install the release. So let's see if it lets me get through this stage. I'm in the UK. Use the wired connection. How would you like to install Ubuntu? Guided step by step through. No, automated installation for this. No, we'll just have to do this. Okay. We'll just have the default selection of apps for the time being. Install recommended priority software, install third-party software for graphics and Wi-Fi. So this is why it's important that you try and plug it in or get it connected to the internet at this stage. If you do tether it, then you will be able to select the USB. It will count as as kind of like a wired connection at that stage. So we want to so we want to install third-party software for graphics and Wi-Fi hardware. Okay. And hopefully this will sort out our wireless internet issue we have at that stage. Erase disk and install Ubuntu. You can set up manual parts as well. So what I mean is that you could create partitions, so you could dual boot back to Mac OS or into Ubuntu. For the time being, I'm just going to erase the full disk and go from there. You will then need to just set up your name, account details, a username and a password to create your account. So I will quickly go through that now. Okay, I've typed in all of my part. Obviously, connecting to London, review the choices. Yeah, looks good to me. And then it's going to install this. Now, obviously, just like Windows, it does take a bit of setting up when you're installing initially, but we will head back when this is finished. Okay, so that is done, and we just need to click the restart now, and this will hopefully boot us straight into Ubuntu. Oh, I've got to remove this USB, hit enter. Hopefully this will work. A bit of a graphical glitch there, but I'm letting you see this guy for the first time, so you guys know exactly what is going to happen as I see it. Okay, that's a good sign. It's at least installed the first bit correctly. I don't know what these little graphical glitches are. I don't know. Is anyone else has done this? Well, we'll find out if it's worked in a minute. Right, I'll come back to you once we're actually in now, because it's going to obviously do some setting up internally. I won't bore you with that. Okay, guys, I've just typed, it's just come up with my user. I've just typed in my password and we are in. There you go. So let's have a quick through here. Yeah. Free for up to 5 machines. Oh, okay. I will skip it for now. We might have a look at that later. Yeah, why not? We'll I don't know why sharing the first plot, but yeah, we'll share it. So you can download all sorts, obviously Steam. Can you imagine actually playing Steam games on this Mac because it's now Linux and you're not restricted? So I just want to see, there you go, Wi-Fi. Let's see if it comes up. There you go. It's installed the drivers through that. That's one of the issues that there was beforehand. So I can now connect to my my Wi-Fi. The drivers have been installed. Bear with me one sec. I'm just going to connect that, make sure it works. Voila, we are now wirelessly connected. We are now fully set up and running. So I know that with Linux, obviously you have the terminal, which is why loads of people like it, because you can just type in the commands. It's easy for developers as well. Let's have a quick look. So you have the App Center here. Just want to know how quick it actually is going to be. So let's just start off with firing up Firefox and see how it loads. Okay, it's fine. It's because I don't have any, but that's fine. Privacy notice is there. So let's see how this thing, obviously everyday life, we're going to go on YouTube, see how it loads, see how it works, make sure the speaker's working. Actually, that's a good point. Oh, the buttons work. Look. What about screen brightness? Sorry, the keyboard brightness. That works. And it's actually making the keyboard brighter and turning it off. It's working. That's good how it does that. What about screen brightness? There you go. Amazing. Okay, so all of the buttons work. One of the things that you've apologies, I just hit that. One of the things that you've got to be really conscious about is obviously the keyboard is now going to be diverted and reverted back to like a Windows keyboard. So for example, when you're copying something, the old Command and C will no longer work. It will be Control and C, as on these older keyboards. Luckily, we do have a control button, etc. So the Alt button will now be an Alt button as if it was for Windows and Linux. Linux is very similar to the Windows keyboards. The keyboards are the same. They do the same thing. It's a very simple thing. So, for example, up here, you'd normally hit like Option and 3 for a hash. It's not anymore. It's now down in this corner here where the dashes are. So I think it's just a matter of just making sure that you learn your keyboard. Let's see if we can find ourselves on here. Oh, I found it. Oh, wow, the it's very sensitive actually. Might have to turn that trackpad. It flows quite well actually. And let's just make sure the speakers are actually working.
Energy supplies don't want you to know about this trick to warm up houses for practically zero cost.
It's loud as well.
This space heater is called the Tesla.
Yeah. We don't want to hear about some heaters. No thanks for premium right now. So there you go. It's playing that. The internet seems to be working. Obviously, Firefox. Download whatever you want. Obviously, you can go on the App Store. There's going to be so many different things that you can download here. Games, development stuff, explore. So I don't know actually if you could you can download Steam straight from here. So you just click on install. Just type my password in. Okay, it's installing. It seems to be working quite quick. And the good thing is that everything will work. There will be no graphical glitches. There won't be anything along those lines. Let's see. I don't know if actually on Linux, if you get some kind of maps. I don't know. I've never really used Linux before. This is also new to me, as it is maybe to you guys. But I'm going to have a play around with it. So far, so good. It booted up absolutely fine. I was able to jump straight in and start using it, start searching on the internet. I think this could be a good save. Obviously, with like going back to maybe Monterey or something along those lines, it could also be a good option. But I think with it not getting security updates anymore and them being slower, etc., I would probably still lean more towards Linux on these older machines. There's less bloatware. The recommended is crazy as well because their recommended is like 4 or less. One of them was like 1.5 gigabytes of RAM to be able to run it, because there are lighter versions of Ubuntu called, I can't remember exactly what they're called, but they are called very slightly different things. But they're lighter, come with a lot less intense load on your computer. I thought I would go for the full thing, and it's working fine. Working absolutely fine, and I'm happy with it. So guys, look, let me know your thoughts of this as well. Is this something that you're obviously watching this video potentially looking to do? Let me know of your experiences once you try it. But I hope that's helped. Any questions or anything that you have at all, then please do leave them in the comments below. And of course, I think in terms of actually this MacBook, I'm going to have a play around with it, and I will report to you another video on how this machine runs with Linux with a more intense workload. We can now see, obviously, the problem that we had before was we couldn't even edit on this thing. Even with Sequoia, it just wouldn't let us open anything. Let's see if we can now get onto stuff like DaVinci Resolve, if it will run it and how well it will run it. Let's have a look at those in the future. So guys, thank you so much for watching. Really appreciate your support, and I will catch you all in the next one.